ARSJ, we entertain, we're family, come catch the vibe.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Kenneth Plaisance, attorney, writer, novelist, philanthropist, all of the above, all of the above. How you doing?
Oh, doing fine, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Good,
doing well.
good.
I want to start off getting right into it. What inspired you to become an attorney?
I guess discrimination. When the era in which I came in, it was mostly race discrimination. Mm-hmm. So sex and gender-based bias discrimination wasn't the big ticket. It was the race discrimination and then retaliation. So those are the things. When I was in corporate, I worked for a major insurance company who discriminated against me. And so I went to law school because of that. And then I also was discriminated against by another major insurance company. Mm-hmm. So then I took that one all the way up. And so I'm cited in federal second in Atlanta district, mm-hmm. Georgia district. So I've been doing discrimination for a little while, and mostly employment discrimination. And I've got a master's in employment law. So I know the area very well. But just personal and professional, I guess, situations that happened to me got me into just being an attorney and doing discrimination cases. Yeah. And then some other things to become an attorney. I can go into this array of things that happened with my family in New Orleans and the rest of it. We had a parking lot concession in which the government took away from us and said that we didn't pay the rent, but they were not, I guess, scheduling the events at the municipal auditorium and also the theater performing arts. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like we're not gonna do the events so we can screw you over, and basically, so that's another reason why I went to law school.
Yeah. What was it like growing up in New Orleans? I mean, you said you're from New Orleans.
It's a great place. I mean, it's music. I mean, it's just nothing but music, food, and good people, good culture. When you're small, or when you first start school, you know, you're introduced to the bands and the music and jazz and all the rest of that stuff. So it's like in your blood, you know. So you just grow up with that culture, and you grow up with the people that do a lot of music, arts, and so forth. And yeah, it's a good place to be. I think. Whenever I move away, I always got to come home.
Absolutely, absolutely. You think New Orleans had a lot to play in your creativity?
Yeah. I went to an all-black high school, a Catholic high school, boys' school, and so we had the biggest or the best band in the land in high school. So even if you wasn't in the band, the whole class would just do the beats of the band. You know, it was like that. You know, so you had the rhythm in your beat, in your heart, and in your blood. You know, so yeah, it was a great thing.
Awesome. Did you always know you wanted to be a writer or be an author?
Well, I started poetry when I was in high school, and so, you know, I started dabbling into it. You know, my first poem was I am man, let no beer or alcohol take me from my car. But that was like 16, you know, so I remember that quite, you know, well. And then I did another poem, Real Belief. And so, in fact, I used that. That was the first one that I actually produced in terms of a record. No, not me personally, but you know, it was a record. So I guess at the very beginning, you started with poetry, and so then I said, well, I can write poems. You know, so I wrote a whole bunch of poems, and but I put them away for a little while, and then the rap game came strong. You know, and I said, well, look, I can take my little poems out and start doing a little poetry with some jazz to it. So that's what I started doing. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay. And I know you put out an album, right?
I put out 4.
4 albums.
Yeah.
Four albums. Talk to us about that process. What was that
Oh
like?
man, let's see. The first one, I just wrote the lyrics. Some rappers in Los Angeles.
Wow. Okay.
And so I think they thought that their sound and all that it was better than the words. So then I said, and that was called Black Hole. And that was the first, I guess, album. I call them albums, CDs or whatever. You tell my age, you know. Yeah, that was the first one. Yeah. So then I said, well, I'm gonna put that on the back burner. And then I did my first solo endeavor called Seriously and Deliriously Still in Love with You. And this is the book that went along with the CD. Okay, so I had a CD and book, you know.
Okay.
And then Hurricane Katrina happened. Washed all my stuff down the street, you know. Literally just took all my stuff and just destroyed it. But I was able to redo it and you know, so it's never delayed, it's never denied, but delayed. It's delayed. Yeah, so yeah. So then I did 3 other ones. Let's see, I had Kinetic Pleasures. The last 2 was inspirational, and that was pretty cool. I thought that the last one I did was You Were Made from God's Love, and so most of the last 2 was very inspirational, and so I've been on an inspirational kick with that.
Who are some people you seek inspiration from when you're doing your creative endeavors?
Oh man, just Almighty God, Jesus Christ. They're your best friends.
Absolutely.
So. Absolutely. But just the jazz artists from around the way. I'm in a choir, and we have a jazz kind of choir at St. Jude. It's on Rampart Street, New Orleans. And so them cats can play. They play the saxophone and the trumpet and all that. So the cats are older than me, so I kind of like look up to them and
Absolutely.
try to get my inspiration from them as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's talk about The Argument.
Okay.
The Argument is your latest book.
Yeah.
And it largely is inspired by your courtroom encounters, right?
Right. You know, I had taken a case all the way up to the United States Supreme Court. I had represented an expert in DNA sequencing, I guess, and it gets kind of technical, so I don't want to get into that too much. But he was quality control for most laboratories that it did work for. So he tried to subpoena some records from a laboratory, and the judge put him in jail 4 times, and then they found him dead.
Wow.
And so I kind of like just exaggerated it from there. You know, it has the argument of the United States Supreme Court case, and all the cases that came below it. You know, the district court level, appellate court level, then the United States Supreme Court level. And he says that the science is good. DNA science is great, but they fail to calibrate those machines every time they do the test.
Right.
So that was his argument. And then he knew, since he worked in those laboratories, how to find it, how to talk about it. I was going to use him on my cases, you know, but and it didn't work out that way. But I think he was the only kind of person that I knew who could refute or give some credence to the tests when we talk about child support and what have you. You know, because if you know anything about child support, it's not saying that the person is the father. It's saying they're in that percentage of a population, a sample population of those people in that area that points to you as being the father. So you know, so he could touch upon that, and so he had a lot of knowledge in that area. And I didn't think they wanted to really let him speak about it, you know. So yeah, so that's basically the argument. But then I put in all kind of stuff as well, poetry, and then I got a little 50 Shades of Grey in it. Okay. You know, the attorney gets shot in the courtroom, and then he goes into his past flings and stuff like that. So it's got all kind of stuff in it. But you know, I just wanted to make something that's readable, that's a good read. You know, and the law area is going to be kind of stuffy with some people. You know, So I said, let me put everything into it, and I made it a fiction from
Absolutely.
that. So
And this is your first novel?
first novel, yeah.
Wow.
I've got a book of poetry. I think I should do that one, but yeah. So yeah, and then right now it's just coming to me. I mean, I got another book coming out. Well, I'm working on it, and another book of poetry coming out.
Awesome.
In fact, the book of poetry is going to be out probably by December.
Congratulations.
And then the novel, that's gonna be interesting, man. And I'm excited about it, man. I just got, you can see the smile on my face.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It should be. It should be.
Yeah, I mean, just it comes, man, and that inspiration and so forth. And I get a chance to write and type it. Yeah.
So how is the process different writing a novel as opposed to a book of poetry or, more objective writing?
Well, the novel I already had the base, the framework of the case, and once I had the framework of the case, then I just started adding stuff into it. The relationship that the attorney had with the client, the relationship the attorney had with the judges and the other attorneys, and so forth and so on. So that was kind of how I did the novel. The book of poetry was just inspiration. It comes to me, and I just start writing and typing.
Book of poetry.
Yeah.
Are you still making albums as well?
The last one was last year. This one here, and that was it. Yeah, I haven't done it yet, but I'm trying to promote the books of the novel right now.
Right.
That's a challenge, man.
Yeah.
It's a challenge.
What are some of the challenges with it?
Well, it's just getting out. I mean, you've got to promote it. Once you do it and you get the book in your hand, wow, it's great, all right. But now you got to promote it, so you go to book signings and stuff like that. You set up book signings. And then with the COVID and the pandemic, I was set up in Los Angeles. March 13th, I was jetting out there, man. I was going to do a book signing, and I was like, it's kind of fun when you think about it, but I couldn't do it. So I got to wait till this thing is over, blows over, and then get back on it. And yeah. So I think the marketing aspect of it, promotion, and then dealing with the right publishing company, or you can be self-publishing as well. And I think that my first book I did self-publishing. The second book I went to a publishing company, but now I'm like kind of weird about that. I might want to go back to self-publishing. The major publishing companies are not doing like they used to.
Right. A lot of
giving
people
contracts to authors and so forth. Yeah, they don't give them like they used to.
Right. They definitely don't.
Yeah. So self-publishing, I think, right now is the way to go and everything.
Okay. And so your book that's coming out in December, what's the title of that?
I don't even know, man.
You don't have time.
Oh man. It's dealing with a case. It's a criminal case. This one of my clients, he was a police officer, and he was accused of kidnapping, raping some exotic dancers.
Wow.
Which are strippers, but exotic dancers. You know what I'm saying? So the case lasts like 3 years, man. They had mistrials, 2 mistrials, and finally got to court, and we had a sweet deal for him, but he didn't want to take it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So that's kind of the inspiration behind.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna put everything else into it again, because it's kind of interesting how it went down, and politics and exotic dancers.
Right. A lot of touchy subjects in there, right?
Yeah.
And so you do criminal along with personal injury, right?
I've done criminal. After this case, I didn't do it anymore.
Okay, right.
Because it was weird, man. It was like 3 years, man. And, the DA, hid evidence from us in the first trial. Then they planted evidence, the second trial,
Right.
Then we went to the third trial. By that time, the publicity was so great that we could do a change of venue, but we couldn't, and so everybody knew about the case, and then, this was weird, man.
Right.
It's a crazy case.
How did you come up with, Kenneth Star, obviously it has your name, but where did that name come from?
Well, it came from the guy who prosecuted Bill Clinton.
Okay.
His name was Kenneth Starr.
Okay.
I kind of figured, I like the name, so I put Kenneth Starr as the protagonist, I guess they call it. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, I came up with that name. Yeah. So it's a lot about me, but for the most part, it's fiction.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The names are changed to protect it. So, yeah.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
What is the most rewarding thing about practicing law?
Oh boy, I got to take a quote from the movie Philadelphia.
Okay.
When what's his name? Guy says, every now and then you'll be a part of justice. Every now and then.
Tom Hanks, right?
Right, Tom Hanks said that. That inspired me.
Right.
There's some other things, but that's the quote I kind of. Every now and then,
right.
you're a part of justice, man.
Absolutely.
And then being published sometimes, so being published, and so that's my first taste of being published in some of the cases. I got a case that's published in child support and in discrimination. What else? Civil service matters. I do federal, state, and local civil service, like police officer, union and stuff. So that was the first time I was published in the reporters, Southern Reporters, Southwest Reporters, Federal Supplement. Yeah.
Congratulations. Wow. That's
Yeah.
a lot of accolades.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
The biggest thing was to try to get to the United States Supreme Court argument before them.
Right. You did that, right?
No. They didn't publish my works, man. They denied the writ.
Really?
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so I said, all right, you guys are not going to publish my stuff. And I think every time I write something, I think it's good.
Yeah, I think everybody
Right. So I guess the judges know better. When you go up to the United States Supreme Court. So I said, I'm going to publish my own stuff. And that's another reason why I wrote the book too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's interesting stuff, man. You read the book, I think it's a good read, man. I think you want to know a lot about DNA, how it applies to child support, and also just DNA period. For inmates, that area is kind of crazy too. They take your DNA and they have it on file,
Right. Forever.
Yeah, forever.
Right.
Yeah, they can use it, man.
What are some areas of the law that you think need serious reform?
Yeah, criminal law. I mean, the rate of blacks that go to jail as compared to whites, that needs to be reformed or checked into. This discrimination as a whole, man. In every walk of life, you are discriminated against. And I don't like to be a pessimist, but from the time I've been in the corporate world, just discrimination, just being discriminated against, failing to promote, on assignments, that kind of stuff, and that just goes through a person as well. Then, even when you get to a point as an attorney, you're discriminated against. At least I was. I don't know how the young attorneys are now. Sometimes I think you guys got it better than us. I don't know. But just being in federal court sometimes is kind of like harder than for blacks to practice there.
Absolutely.
They file sanctions quickly on black attorneys. At least in my experience.
Right.
And so you get to and even in writing books, or even in this genre with the publishing company, I kind of think that they kind of like doing something abnormal. If it goes against the standard principle of things,
right,
then it's abnormal. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And if it's abnormal, then you're doing something either discriminating against, or you just don't like me.
Right.
Yeah, you don't like me, but you're discriminating against me. And then you get this complex, this complex about it. And you say, well, anyway, but yeah. So
you've been practicing for 30 years.
30 years. Yeah.
What would you say is your most rewarding experience as an attorney?
Wow, just helping people, man. Just helping. You know, I think that as an African American attorney, a black attorney, I think we're put on this, or given the opportunity to be an attorney and to help African American people and black people. And basically that's what I kind of get a kick out of. Yeah. You know, just the accolades sometimes, you know. But you know, even if you win some cases, the next one, you got to go to the next one. So you can't get big-headed about it, because you go straight to the next one, man. And then maybe at the end you could look back and say, "Wow, I did all this stuff." Yeah.
As an attorney, I know you oftentimes have to use a different part of your brain that you do with the creative endeavor. Do you ever kind of battle those two things?
Well, I think the writing is the art part, the art of it. You know, I mean, you know, there was one case. I think it was I got a supersedis bond. I don't know, the federal court, and you're appealing it. You got to do a supersedis bond. And there was a case. As an attorney, this is funny. As an attorney, too funny. But there's a case where it was Elvis Presley's wife had filed on the estate of Elvis Presley, and I had to put it in there. I said, Elvis Presley has been cited again, you know, meaning cited as the in the law area, and then he's always being cited all around the world, you know. So yeah, so I had to put it in there, man. The judge started like, "Mr. Plaisance, you know, you can't do this, man." Just had to put it in there. So yeah, sometimes it's creative, it's funny, it's funny in ways. But yeah, you've got to, you know where to go. And library, and we were trained in how to research in the stacks in the library. Now, you know, you can hit Google Scholar, and you get to the case real quick, and of course Westlaw and all the rest of it. But we had to sit in those stacks, we call them, and get to the law. So I think I like to do the research, and once you know how to do that, it's a great thing as an attorney.
And you think that crosses over to the creative endeavors as well, the research with your novels and your poetry and things like that?
I don't know. I don't. Sometimes it does, because it's creative writing as well. I mean, if you've got to be creative on how to come with the different sets of rules and the different sets of laws, and you've got to pick from this one, and then kind of like gel it to another one, so you could be creative for your client. You see what I'm saying? Well, like, it's one case is in the book, and it's kind of crazy, but for the most part, yeah, I think you've got to be creative, and you've got to know how to research the law, get the cases, and then you've got to try to figure out how you can best be creative in your argument so you can win. And so yeah, creativity is in everything. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Out of all your pieces of work that you put out, what are you most proud of?
In terms of the music, the last album, The Inspiration, you know, You Were Made from God's Love. It's a anti-bully song, and it's poetry with a hook and some jazz in the back. And yeah, that's been kind of like needling at me, you know, to try to do some inspirational stuff for people. Yeah.
If you could give some words of advice or affirmation to aspiring attorneys or law students, what would that be?
Just be persistent, man. Persistent. Don't give up. You know. I had several other good friends that were, you know, in high school. They were much smarter than me, I guess I call it. But they gave up in law school, you know. They said they couldn't do it. And so I think you got to be persistent and just know there's an outcome that's going to be good for you. You know, don't give up, man. Don't give up.
Did you have any mentors who helped you through law school when you were going through?
They had several. Some of the law school teachers and professors. And the whole tree. I don't know. It was in Southern University Law Center.
Oh, it might be Wheaton.
That's it.
Wheaton. That's the Wheaton.
Okay.
Choice.
Yeah. So
That's okay. Wow.
he taught constitutional law at Southern University.
Wow.
And so he was pretty inspirational too. And just keep going at it, man. Keep pushing it. Just do the case work, and the first year is always the hardest, and then you can get by in the second and third. But once you get that first year out the way, then you should be able to last to the third year. Oh, now you have 4 years, and you can do it in 4 years, but we have to do it in 3 years. So.
What is the most rewarding experience you've had while presenting your book? While showing someone your book, whether it be a book signing, someone coming to you saying that they read it. What has been a real rewarding experience for you?
Yeah, I mean, people are kind of like there was a lady that works at Whole Foods, and she read it, and she said it was absolutely good. It was great. She said it was twists and turns, and it kept her reading the pages, turning the pages, and that's rewarding,
Absolutely.
To have somebody to come up and tell you that it's a good read, that was important. And then doing I think it was had several interviews with radio stations, and people call in and they say they read the book, and it's great, man. It's great. Yeah.
Is this something you see yourself doing until King?
I think so. It's something that the next one is going to be criminal law, and then the third one is probably going to be discrimination.
I like that, tying it all into the families.
Right. So, like I said, that's the base. That's the framework of the whole book, and then I just add new people, add situations, antagonists and protagonists, and it's great. So that's my base, The law is the base, and then I just bring on, John Grisham or something like that. I don't know if he's an author. He's an attorney, I think. He did the Pelican Brief, The Firm. There's a couple of books he did, and they went to movies. That's the thing that next that I'm trying to do is get into movies, man. Yeah.
Okay. Have you written any scripts or?
Well, I sent the book off to a person that writes scripts.
Oh, nice.
And so he's gonna take a look at it. And
good.
I'd like to go to Cannes Film Fest.
Yeah. You're gonna be both.
With a French beret and ascot.
Ascot and everything.
The works.
Absolutely.
But that's the dream. That's the dream.
That's awesome.
I'll get there.
All right. Are there anyone or any authors that you currently kind of follow what they're doing to kind of see how you should pace your career as an author?
Well, the guy I just mentioned, I think his name is Ludwig. I'm not sure, but he did all those books, The Firm, Pelican. So I kind of want to, but then I put poetry in mine and other things in mine. So I branch off into my own niche, Yeah. So, but I start off with the law. And whoever's writing law books or whoever's doing just novels in the law area, I try to read those.
And you have your own practice.
Currently, I'm doing kind of like small personal injury fender benders, so I can try to sell a book. But do personal injury, automobile cases. Used to be a claims adjuster for Allstate and Travelers Insurance Company. I was in Boston at Travelers Insurance Company, so I know the area very well, and then employment law. I've got my master's LLM in employment law. So those are the two areas I just try to deal with. I used to, when I opened up my practice, everything that walked through the door I handled, man. Burnt me out, man. Burned out quick. So just two areas I try to stick at now.
Okay.
Personal injury, automobile cases, and employment law. Discrimination, workers' comp, civil service matters. Those are the areas I know very well.
What's some advice you would give a young attorney who's looking to hang his shingles up and start them a practice?
And get out there and network. Social media advertisement, marketing. Just be out there for the little guy. I mean, you'd be surprised if you handle one small thing for a person, another big case may come along.
Mm-hmm.
So be humble and just keep at it. And also try to stay up with how to practice. There's now I think that the bar associations have departments that teach you how to practice and how to run an office,
Mm-hmm.
and that's important too.
Very important.
The business of law. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If there was one thing you want people to take away from reading the argument, what would that be?
Wow. All right. So the one thing that's a good question. Just that it's a good read. That it has both the law and relationships involved in it. Just it's a good read. Half the battle is just getting it to be a good read, man.
Mm-hmm.
Just that somebody will turn the pages, keep turning them until they say, "Wow, yeah."
Well, thank you so much for being here with us today.
No problem.
We appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, Attorney Kenneth Plaisance.